Welcome to Langkawi, where the sun shines, the palm trees sway, and coconuts are practically falling into your hands. It's Malaysia's prized island getaway, a place where you're promised stunning landscapes, a decent tan, and maybe even a slight sunburn if you're lucky. But is it all it's cracked up to be, or just another overhyped patch of sand? Today, we're going to rate Langkawi in the most delightfully judgmental way possible. So grab your sunscreen and prepare for a roller coaster of sunburns and questionable decisions. Alright, let's start with the supposed main attraction, natural beauty. Langkawi has a bit of everything: pristine beaches, waterfalls you can't pronounce, and lush rainforests teeming with creatures that may or may not want to bite you. You've got Pantai Senang Beach, where you can soak up the sun with a million other tourists, and the Langkawi Sky Bridge, suspended at 700 meters above sea level so you can cling to the railing for dear life while admiring the view. Oh, and the sunsets? Practically begging to be Instagrammed. So yes, it does look gorgeous. For nature, we'll give Langkawi a solid 5 out of 5. Now, onto the weather. The tropical climate. Sun one moment, a monsoon the next, just enough suspense to keep you guessing. You'll get humidity levels that make you feel like a human sponge and, on occasion, a relentless sun that might just bake you on the spot. Rain or shine, Langkawi's weather keeps you on your toes. It's almost like nature's very own survival show, but, you know, with slightly fewer crocodiles. So we're giving it a respectable 3 out of 5. Because, really, who doesn't love sweating through their clothes before 10 a.m.? You'd think an island would be impossible to get to. But not Langkawi. It's got its own airport, so you can fly directly in with just enough time to wonder if your seat really had to be this close to the engine. Once you're on the island, grab a taxi, or better yet, rent a scooter so you can dodge potholes like a local. There are ferries too, but they might leave you wishing you'd taken seasickness pills. Accessibility gets a 4 out of 5, mostly because it's actually not that hard to get to, which is both surprising and slightly inconvenient for those of us hoping for a hidden paradise. Here's where Langkawi shines. If you love seafood so fresh it practically swims onto your plate, you're in luck. The street food scene is a sensory overload of smells and flavors, from satay skewers to the famous nasi lemak. And yes, you can dine with an ocean view, because that's what they expect you to do here. Fancy restaurants? They've got them too, with prices ranging from cheap and cheerful to I hope the food is worth my left kidney. The only downside? Eating all this without putting on 5 kilos. 4 stars here, and that's only because we're bitter about the weight gain. As island getaways go, Langkawi is refreshingly affordable, especially if you're used to tourist traps where a cocktail costs more than your hotel. You can snag a decent meal for the price of a coffee back home, and if you're really going all out, you can rent a private beachfront villa for, well, a fraction of what it would cost in the Maldives. The only downside? Those little extras that add up when you're not looking, like snorkeling gear rentals, zipline fees, and, yes, those cocktails. But hey, for an island escape, Langkawi's pretty reasonable. Let's call it a 4 out of 5. Because even paradise isn't free, but it's close. For a tropical island full of tourists, Langkawi is pretty safe. It's a laid-back place where you can wander around without clutching your bag or looking over your shoulder. Sure, there are the occasional critters, monkeys that eye your snacks, jellyfish that have no respect for personal space, but that's just nature reminding you who's boss. And remember, don't take the friendliness of the locals for granted. They'll smile and help you, but they won't stop you from making a fool of yourself on a rented scooter. So, 4 out of 5 for safety, because while you might get a monkey stealing your chips, you're unlikely to lose much more than that. Nightlife in Langkawi isn't exactly Ibiza. But if you like a laid-back bar by the beach, with some guy playing the guitar while you sip a tax-free beer, then you'll be alright. Most people here are more about early morning jungle treks than late-night raves, but there are a few places to enjoy some live music or chat up fellow tourists over cocktails. The verdict? Langkawi's nightlife won't blow you away, but it does the job. A respectable 3 out of 5 for nightlife. It's charmingly quiet and definitely less risky than karaoke bars where someone might record your rendition of Bohemian Rhapsody. So, adding it all up, we arrive at Langkawi's final score. We've got stunning landscapes, unpredictable weather, an impressive food scene, and accessible prices, all adding up to a score that's a delightful 27 out of 35. Because let's face it, paradise, for all its quirks, is worth the trip. So if you're looking for an island getaway that doesn't break the bank, where you can eat, sunbathe, dodge tropical storms, and occasionally survive a monkey encounter. Langkawi's waiting for you.